going to tell a little bit about cycling. Was not the way it is today at all. It was a really hard struggle to get more space for people and less space for cars. And the reason why I like working on cycling, because it brings a lot to the cities. It brings, for example, that you have more space for people on the streets. And it's not just people, it are the people that are not having the opportunity to drive a car. So the children, the elderly people, the women, for example, they get freedom of movement when you work on cycling. And I think that's also very to ride their car every day, or where it's unsafe to walk to school. The reasons why Dutch people ride their bikes is that it's not for the environment. It's not for the cities. In the Netherlands, they ride their bikes because it's comfortable, it's convenient, it's fast, and it's cheap. So if you work on cycling, it's very important not to emphasize the benefits of cycling, but emphasize the reasons why people would like to start cycling. It's also that you have to be prepared to fight for every street. It's not that cycling just appears. There will always be struggle. Even in the Netherlands or Denmark, where there's a lot of cycling going on, we still have to fight street by street for more space and more attention for safe cycling. If you work in your cities on cycling, it might be that there's not so many people on a bike, and when you say I want to have separated bicycle lanes for cyclists, that you get a lot of resistance and a lot of discussion. And what really helps is that you put in pilots. So you put in a project and you say, let's try it for like half a year. And let's make it temporary. You can do a lot with planters, or with planters are the concrete blocks where you put plants in to separate the bicycle path from the street. But you can also use just ordinary plumbers, because they are, the plumbers that you use to unplug your sink. Just glue them to the floor like they do in North America, and you have full separation in an hour. And combine, that's my last tip I want to bring to you, is that combine cycling with public transport. Because it's very easy to be angry about those buses that you don't like, you don't feel safe when they're near you as a cyclist, but they are a very important part of the system for people who ride bikes. If you want to go like 50 kilometers, it's too far to go on a bike, but you can really make your trip by bus much faster if you don't have to walk 20 minutes to the bus stop. So make bike parkings, good safe bike parkings next to the bus stop or the metro or the train station. And then you bring people a real good alternative to using their cars. So I believe that you hear a lot of talk about smart mobility, and you hear a lot of talk about clean mobility. And what I see is that a lot of times people don't think about, or politicians don't think about cycling because it's just too ordinary. But I think the revolution that's going on in cycling with e-bikes, cargo bikes, three-wheeled bikes for elderly people is much more interesting and much more relative for the problems we have in our future than a self-driving car. In a self-driving car, you still use a lot of space. In a self-driving car, you still have your body sitting still for too long a time a day. And cycling solves that. You just take that little trip to the shopping area up and down, and you have done your daily sporting trip. So I'm very interested in what kind of questions you have. So I made the arrangements that Rita is going to ask me questions. You are going to ask me questions, and Rita is going to tell them to me. So I open up the floor.
Se ela acredita que as mudanças de pensamento que incorpore o ciclismo como meio de transporte vêm de uma mobilização social ou política.
Rita's typing for me, so I wait until she's finished. I do think you have a very beautiful language. I'd really like to listen to it, but I don't speak it at all, so that is the problem. I'm still waiting for the question to proceed.
Isso. Mas ela está me ouvindo se eu falar? Não, né?
Ela está recebendo por mensagem.
Sim.
Let me tell you a little bit more. Maybe it's completely irrelevant, but until the questions comes through, you might know. Yeah, my cat is really harassing me. So if you see a cat passing by, it's because I'm at home. The children in the Netherlands, they start to ride their bikes when they are 3 or 4 years old. First, they learn it without the pedals on it, just walking bikes, and then they learn the technique. And then when they are about 5 years old, they ride their bikes alone in the street or in the play areas next to their houses. And from about when they are 9, most parents will let them ride their bikes to school or to the sports by themselves. And that is very interesting because it's very convenient for the parents, but it's also has a big positive impact on the children because they can expand their living area, they can be independent, and that's why the Dutch children, but also the Danish children, they are very happy children and also very, always in the top 5 happy kids in the world. I don't know. I think it was a very difficult question because I haven't gotten the question yet. 1 minute.
Alguém tem mais alguma pergunta? Alguém? Então não temos mais perguntas.
So maybe, how many people are in the room? Do you, maybe that is for...
Vídeo é sempre complicado.
Ela recebeu. Tá sem som.
Whether... Yeah. It's a very good question. The question is whether I think the movement for change will come from politics or from social mobilization. I think it's very important that you have a strong social mobilization. Without people on the streets fighting for more cycling, it will not happen in the politics. And you have to be prepared to be sometimes angry, but most of all, if you want to be successful, you also need to be able to negotiate. So if you have problems on the street, if you have big issue, then the politicians will pay attention. And when you have, when they pay attention to you, then the change on the streets can really happen. But don't be too shy. I mean, for us, it's not necessary anymore, but until about 10 years back, we fought with really harsh actions. We blocked streets, we blocked crossings just to get the attention from the politicians. You will have friends amongst politicians already now. So make sure that you stay friends with them and make them stronger. But without social actions on the streets, nothing will change. We need to, yeah, I cannot do that, I think. Okay, I need to finish up, sorry. I'm really sorry. Well, I want to I want to thank you very much that I could participate in this way, because, you know, I really would have loved to come, but I always think about the environment, and then I thought maybe we can do it like this. So have a good time at picnic, and if you are in the Netherlands, don't hesitate, come by and we'll talk more about cycling.